Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. We are back today. Same rhetoric and nonsense I've been dealing with since before Candace actually left to go on vacation, really. But things really ramped up when she got there, didn't they? However, we want to start with this disturbing message from none other than Bibi Netanyahu.
And other Jewish communities from Jerusalem. To all my friends in AIPAC, the first thing I want to say is, thank you, AIPAC. Thank you for standing with Israel. Thank you for standing with the American-Israeli alliance. And thank you for standing up for the truth. Now, I know that's not been easy because over the past 2 years, we've all been subjected to a tsunami of lies, vilifications, vituperations that are reminiscent of the worst anti-Semitic attacks in history. I know you and AIPAC have been suffering such attacks. The American Jewish community and other Jewish communities have suffered not only anti-Semitic slurs, but also murderous attacks. And of course, so did we in Israel. We suffered on October 7th a brutal attack that was meant to destroy us, to wipe Israel off the map. That's what the Iran Axis sought to do on October 7th. Iran's proxies sought and seek to annihilate the Jewish people, and their patron Iran sought and seeks to annihilate the Jewish state. But for the past 2 years, since October 7th, we've rolled them back. We fought a seven-front war against this axis of evil. And thanks to the incredible courage of our soldiers, we rolled back this threat to our existence and to our future. We battered Hamas, we hammered Hezbollah, we helped bring down the murderous Assad regime, we struck the Houthis, we attacked pro-Iranian militias, and we also attacked Iran itself. With America's help, we rolled back Iran's nuclear bomb program and its ballistic missile threat. That axis has been greatly weakened, but it's still there. It's licking its wounds. It still chants death to America, death to Israel. I appreciate the efforts that President Trump is making to ensure that those threats against both our countries do not reappear. We have never had a greater friend in the White House than President Donald J. Trump. And I want to tell you that I value the support of Americans from both sides of the aisle. I know it's been difficult for some, and I respect your courage, your honesty, the fact that you're willing to stand up against colleagues who sometimes bow their head to this anti-Semitism. You do not. I salute you. Greetings from...
So, yay. He is best buds with President Trump. How long do y'all reckon it's going to be before, if we say anything about Israel or anything tied to it, it's going to be hate speech, or we're going to be hindered on things that we say? I don't think it's going to be long. It's disturbing. And of course, we got all the attacks going on, mostly against Candace, but Tucker's definitely catching a good deal of them. And the shit that is coming out of these people's mouth is just stupid and ignorant. That Jack Posobiec, or I don't even care
if you don't think that he murdered Charlie Kirk, then why haven't his parents come out and said anything? Because they turned him in. It wasn't the FBI. It wasn't Kash Patel. It wasn't Dan Bongino. It wasn't Utah law enforcement. It was his parents. So his parents turned him in. They're the ones who identified him. They're the ones who identified the gun. And if you're so sure that it wasn't Tyler Robinson, why do you think his parents haven't said anything? Notice nobody ever answers this question And by the way, if you're also so sure, then why don't you go and ask his parents yourself? I haven't seen anyone even try to do this. Kind of weird, isn't it?
No, it's really not weird because it has been asked. This shows you how much they just twist everybody's words and make it fit their narrative however they want. And I totally did not expect expected the Candace campaign to go on, but I definitely did not expect to see anybody from TPUSA coming out and speaking about Tyler Robinson or the trial or his guilt. So that was a little shocking. Not surprising, though. And this is just, again, it's just another campaign to try to fuck us into believing their narrative. Again, Erica, how about you get up, man up, like the charge that you took, and come out and speak for yourself instead of having your little minions do it. And we all seen this.
To a debate with my 1.5-year-old this morning about how when you put a shirt on, your belly button does not disappear. So that was a very long discussion, trying to go through multiple different outfits for him to understand that. But it is good to be here in Chicago. Chicago holds a very special place in my heart and in Charlie's for a multitude of reasons. He's from here, my family's from here. He loved the Cubs, loved the Bears. I see the Bears sweatshirt right there. One of the first things we ever bonded over was being a Bulls fan with Michael Jordan. That was a huge thing for us because both of us played basketball. But first and foremost, I just am so grateful for each and every one of you. This is very bittersweet. This was not something I would ever envisioned, obviously, for many reasons.
Nobody did.
Charlie loved Club America for a multitude of reasons, and on my heart, I think the reason why he loved it most was because in high school, he knew that he wanted to make a difference. And he knew that being a leader and also a servant, having a servant's heart, was very important. So for him, he embodied Club America when there wasn't one when he was in high school. And so it's so special that he loved Club America so much. He wanted every high school in the country to have a Club America for a multitude of reasons. And Charlie knew when he was 18 that he had to make a choice. Was he gonna go the normal way, friends making fun of you, way bigger than all of that? You live for something so much greater and something so much bigger. And Charlie knew that. He knew that so deeply. And I just want to encourage you that it's so important to take responsibility for your choices and your actions.
Speechless.
Charlie lived his life in a way where he was not afraid to speak. He chose to use his voice for something so powerful. And I want you guys to understand that every decision will make a mark on your soul. It will.
Sounds like she's speaking
So
from
as a young
experience.
man, know that one day you're going to be a father. Know that the way that you treat women, the way that you live your life every single day, it matters. Ladies, be that, be ladies, be modest. Live your life in a way that's honoring. Honor your parents. Build something greater than just focusing on what's next in your life. Don't compromise your character. You guys might think it's great to go along with the crowd. You guys might think it's great to laugh at certain things that aren't funny. But
Reckon she was calling somebody out
just
there.
know that people are watching. And one day you might be in a position of leadership that people will look back on your life 12, 13, 15 years, and they'll say, wow, you made those choices, you made those decisions. Yeah, in those moments, but my aunt used to tell me, never do something that you don't want on the front page of a newspaper. Live your life in that way. Not because you're being constricted, not because you're afraid, but because you hold yourself to a higher standard. And I want to encourage you guys to do that. And I also want to encourage you guys, don't compromise your character. There's no reason to do that. You might think it's cool to insult people. You might think, the man that took my husband's life, he made a choice over a course of time. He made the wrong decision consistently over his life. And so I want you guys to understand that even though your choice might be small, I don't care if it's deciding whether or not to put the grocery cart back in the stand, or something as grand as finding a way to forgive someone who's deeply hurt you. Those choices leave a mark on your soul for eternity. People are watching. One day your kids will watch you. And so I again am so grateful to be here, because this is where it all started for Charlie. And it was always so special for him, because he understood that there's something so much greater when you sorry, it's just been really emotional these past few days. I apologize. Something that's so important when, even with understand with your character, on the internet, it is so easy to hide behind a keyboard. It is so easy to press send after typing something out that you think will have no ramifications. But it does. There's someone on the other end of that computer, on the other end of the phone. And so, as you go about your life and understanding that choices do mold you, I just want to encourage you guys to be bold and fearless. Not everyone is called to be on the front lines. That's okay. Support those that are. Pray for those. Be there for them in ways that you could not even imagine, but just know that the enemy would love nothing more than to confuse you, to put you in a position where you don't think your life matters or someone else's doesn't matter, but it does. And so just remember, again, every choice that you make, is it bringing you closer? For me, closer to heaven. That's my focus now. Closer to heaven, closer to being the person that God has called you to be, or is it bringing you further away? When someone's criticizing you, is it constructive criticism, or is it criticism that is going to harm you? If it is not going to harm you and it's constructive, take heart of it, pray over it. But again, the reason why high schools are so important to me, when I was talking to POTUS a few weeks ago, I told him, I said, something that's really special is the fact that these students, a lot of them, how many of you guys going to vote in the midterms? Any of you old enough yet? That's awesome. I want to know why.
Well, I don't know if you could read the top there, but Erica Kirk delivers politics and religion to minors inside a public high school, and parents are furious. And then, if you remember, I showed you the other day that a mandated reporter reported TPUSA to DCFS because they were trying to have some kind of get together where the parents were not allowed to be there. and a few other things that was disturbing to them, but I'll show it to you later again. I mean, in my opinion, these people need to get out of our children's schools. You can just look at Twitter or X and know that none of these people belong talking to kids. None. So this is Jack. So that the case against Tyler Robinson is straightforward. They pulled his DNA off the actual Mauser 98 itself, trigger bolt handle, everywhere you'd touch if you were working the action. Plus the towel he used as a cheek rest. And now the screwdriver's back. He left behind. And even inside the spent casing that popped out after he pulled the trigger, we're talking a 1 in billions and trillions of match. Like, yeah, you think? He says, wrong guy, mathematically impossible. I've been going back and forth with Jack all day today. I'm quite surprised that they're on here even trying to convict Tyler before he's even went to trial. So, unless someone wants to claim that Utah prosecutors are dumb enough to fake world-class DNA ballistics evidence in the most watched case of the decade, knowing any decent defense team really, we don't even know if everybody on his defense team is for him. We don't even know if the judge is. And frankly, I don't believe that they got DNA off of anything other than when they went into his apartment, they took the DNA, and then that's how they got it. There's no way that they're saying that Tyler Robinson is the person that was in that stairwell. It just does not work. Mathematically, Jack, it does not work, Mac. Nope, not happening. First of all, their chin structure is completely different. Tyler has a long chin. That guy had a prominent chin. Tyler's ears are attached. This is a genetic thing that cannot be altered. The person you showed in the photos, ears are not attached. Different build. But they're just going to go on here and just keep putting out little pieces in every day, trying to convince everybody that this is what it is. And here you see the whole, a leaked internal email from Turning Point USA instructs staff to label Candace Owens evil and demonic and to flood social media with that framing. And Dan Bongino repeats the exact language on air. And quite frankly, so does everybody else. Every single Reverend Jordan, I mean, there's just countless, too many to even name the rhetoric that is going on over there. And it's all because they are in fear of the truth coming out. Here's Reverend here. Candace Owens plus every follower typing her Bride of Charlie smear on Erica Kirk, repent now, or you're booking a one-way ticket to hell. Attacking a widow grieving her assassinated husband. That's not truth-telling, that's wickedness.
Spirits, this demonic stuff she's her new series is completely out of the pits of hell. The Bible is very clear on how we are supposed to treat widows and widows. Whether you like her or not. Eric, that's fine if you don't like Erica Kirk. But we all used to be able to agree that this is not okay. Her husband died.
No.
And we don't, and Candace.
I'm sorry, but no, sir. We have never all agreed on anything. I have never agreed with anything that this guy has put on anything. He's a fake pastor. I mean, I would not want to go to a church that he is speaking at. He's clearly being paid. In my opinion, allegedly. And then we have, and Tucker's really catching hell right now too. And I mean, these people act like we don't have our own eyes and ears and we don't see these videos ourselves. We're too stupid to know. Quite literally.
And expelled. He flew to a foreign country, Israel, to sign a hate speech law for Florida.
If you look at the statutory definition of anti-Semitism here in Florida, it actually says that criticizing the Jewish state, that would be Israel, holding them to a double standard, denying them,
It's against the law to criticize Israel.
Yes. So if you're a college student at FSU and you're having a good faith debate, and one of you says Netanyahu is a war criminal, you could literally be punished and expelled from your taxpayer-funded university.
Why would DeSantis, who is smart, if nothing, not a warm person, obviously, but he's definitely not stupid, why would he go along with something like that?
It's a great question.
He flew.
It is indeed a great question. It is crazy. Is this not the United States of America? And then, of course, you got American-born traitor and the Israeli spy Jonathan Pollard is demanding that Tucker Carlson be immediately arrested for being an agent for Qatar. He is also implying that President Trump has betrayed Israel by even speaking to and meeting with Tucker Carlson. But I guess he didn't get the memo about Trump and Bibi being besties. He must have missed that part. And he's calling him a liar. You spent 30 years in prison, my guy. How is he a liar? Yeah, Matt Walsh says that anyone who presented the evidence gathered against Miss Erica Kirk to a grand jury would be laughed out of a courtroom. And that what Candace and others are doing is morally wrong. No, I beg to differ. We are simply trying to get the truth out there, and anybody with eyes to see and ears to hear and don't have their head buried in the sand knows that this is not right. This whole narrative is nothing but bullshit. This guy, Ryan Rogue, Marty, was Charlie Kirk's producer.
End of the intersection, the bolts. There was a vehicle in the lane.
Tyler certainly refers to it as his car, not his vehicle.
He wrote me a letter on May 2nd this year.
First and foremost, that letter he is holding up, he is severely misrepresenting. Those sentences are real. I'm saying you're severely misrepresenting the contents and you're doubling down on your lie. I told you to publish the full letter that Charlie wrote you, not lines of it. Okay? It's a lie by omission.
New York Post got a hold of that letter.
So is it really wrong for her to continue on? Charlie was her good friend. They had a great friendship and a long one. Is it really wrong of her? Because in the beginning, she was very patient, kind. She gave Erica the benefit of the doubt. She gave a lot of people at TPUSA the benefit of the doubt, more than most of us. And she did not say anything. She didn't accuse or say anything out of place. Just like Tracy Martin coming up and doing her interview with Graham Allen. They totally twisted everything to fit their narrative. Candace never threatened or outed her daughter. She didn't even give the daughter's name. And they lied about everything. Everything that comes out of these people's mouths are nothing but lies. They're lying liars that lie all day, every day. They do it for a living. Quite literally, they do it for a living. And this is a reporter that finally had enough and said she was going to be blunt. Elizabeth Lane. I'm going to be blunt. I've reached the point where I find Erica Kirk deeply disturbing. Not because of rumors or gossip, but because of consistent, observable patterns of behavior. To be clear, everything I say in this post is my opinion. I'm not claiming this is fact. I'm saying this is what I think Erica Kirk is. I come from the world of acting and modeling. I've spent years around social climbers, opportunists, image curators, and people who treat relationships as ladders. That is why I left that world. Most of these people are shallow and harmless. If you are dangerous, Erica falls into the latter category, not because she is ambitious, but because of how calculated and performative her ambitions appear to be. I believe she may be a psychopath. What stands out immediately is the reaction she provokes in people, which is very common with psychopaths across the board, including from people who support her publicly. The private reaction is the same. I can't watch her. Not criticism, just physical discomfort, which is how most people felt and still feel. People turn off interviews because the presentation feels artificial to the point of being unbearable. And it does and is. That kind of response does not happen accidentally, and it does not happen often. Research in psychology shows that humans are highly sensitive to emotional incongruence, mismatches between facial expression, tone, content. When affect appears simulated rather than genuine, the brain registers as a threat signal. This activates discomfort and avoidance, even if the person cannot consciously explain why. So many of us as left to felt this way, but we could not explain why we could not watch her. Studies in psychopathy, particularly those building on the work of her psychologists like Robert Hare, describe traits such as rehearsed emotional display, which everybody has thought from the beginning. And she's not even very good at it. And shallow affect. These traits can create what observers experience as uncanny, interpersonal dynamic. The discomfort arises and people want to shut it off because most people rarely encounter extreme affective mimicry in everyday life. So brain struggles to categorize what it's detecting. Comment below if you felt what you felt like when you were watching her. Absolutely. Erica's attractive enough, and she had every tool in her position to sell this organically, except for one thing. She didn't have emotion. The entire story of what happened could have helped her sell this fully. She really would have been the last person on earth to be a suspect, if not for the FBI's terrible mistakes. And see, she's being kind there because terrible mistakes, those were not terrible mistakes. That was planned and calculated. They destroyed the crime scene. They allowed the vehicle to be took off and auctioned off. They took one great picture of the inside of the vehicle. And that is it, guys. That is it. That was their grand investigative skills. Utah police were there handling everything. Snipers on roofs, doing the investigation, had their dog sniffing, bomb dogs out, sniffing. Never found anything. FBI shows up after Cash threw his tantrum on the plane about having a jacket with the FBI on it and his patches, and some poor woman gave over hers. He deplaned, and in a matter of an hour, a firearm was found. Right where the dogs had been sniffing and searching, oddly. So again, and then it's, in particular, now you have the FBI saying that they're not involved in the case. It's a state case. Since when? You were there in the beginning. You shut down Joe Kent from doing an investigation. But now they're not involved. It's interesting. And I suspect Tyler Robinson will probably have to go down for this. Sadly. But one thing's for sure, I'm not stopping. I know Candace isn't going to stop. I know Barron's not going to stop. And we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep exposing these people. And this is why it's getting so crazy. Because nobody is shutting up and just taking their narrative. And we're not going to. No matter how much ridiculous shit you put out there, no matter how many people you hire or pay and get them to come on and do campaigns, it didn't work the first 5 times that you did it. What made you think it was going to work now? It's not going to work. Stop, Erica. Stop. And again, I say everybody is involved in this one. We got Andrew coming out. Frank Turk is out, all slandering Candace and all saying that she's evil and demonic for rightfully looking into our friend's death. Blake, Neff Speed, we got the producer. I mean, literally everybody. Everybody from TPUSA and his inner orbit is literally out running their mouths and trying to shut this down. But again, I say, where's Dan Flood? Because he has not said anything in public on camera, to my knowledge. And Stacey Sheridan. And we know that Stacey is always up Erica's ass and pulling the strings, but she, again, has been smart enough to not put herself on camera saying anything. Why is that? Everybody else has. And the constant use of manipulation with grieving wife, grieving widow, grieving this, grieving that, her sick mother, her sick this. It's always something. I've never seen her shed a real tear. Not one.
And martyred, really martyred. This year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand.
She was already standing, by the way. This lady next to her looks like she's grieving more.
Thank you, Erica. Been through a lot. In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind. Last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin.
Who that assassin would be his inner circle. And if I don't hate anybody, just to be clear, but I damn sure don't want Israel running our country. They'd have to, and go fight your own war. It is not up to us to go fight your wars for you. You want to go slaughter people? You go slaughter them. And Tucker Carlson, he's catching hell like nobody's business. And he is the most humble, kindest Christian that you'll ever meet. Does he get a temper every now and again and go off? Yes, but he's genuine.
War, everybody knows the only reason we're having this war is because Israel wants it. This is their last chance, they believe. This presidency is the last presidency where they're going to have unequivocal bipartisan support. Period. You can't primary every Thomas Massey, and there's a whole army of them coming at some point because everyone can see what's going on. And you can shut down X, and you can just shut down the internet. You can be like Great Britain and arrest people who protest Israel, but attitudes are not going to revert to what they were 5 years ago. Sorry. And they know this. So this is their last chance. What's so amazing is that Israel, which at least is acting in what it perceives to be its own national interest, is joined by its shills in the United States, of course. But really, its only other ally in this is the American news media, whose job it is to tell you the truth and inform you as to what's happening, to tell you, hey, wake up. The world could be changing, and it's going to affect you and your family. That's their job. And instead, they've been lulling you to sleep with the same variety of transparent lies and propaganda. Everybody knows.
And I don't know if you went over and seen his whole video from when he went to Israel, which was maddening. But you should definitely go check that out because it was quite the experience that he had. They messed with his mind before even leaving and during being there. And the interview took place at an airport with Mike Huckabee, the U.S. ambassador that really works for Israel. Yes, indeed. And then I don't know if you guys know who Brandy and Billy are, but they have done some phenomenal work. They have gone to Tennessee to one of the sites where AES was and had the explosion and did a great story on that, and you should go check that out. And then they have also been to Tyler's court hearings, and they've actually spoke to Tyler's family. So again, Jack saying what he said is bullshit. So if you haven't checked them out, you should go check them out. They're doing great work. Wanted to show you. Shout out to my daughter to come here. That is Graham Allen that's been running his big mouth with his big threats against Candace. What went so terribly wrong? What? Looks like they were all lovey there. Figured it out. Crazy business. I mean, this guy's all over X right now. One threat right after another on Candace. Yet there he is. You can't make this shit up, people. Oh, there he is again. Wasn't a one-time deal. They know each other. And that's his wife, by the way. Well, look at that. Oh, this is the...
Good evening. I'm going to go off script here
on
and
DCF.
say congratulations, Dr. Newsom. And in the announcement of your position, it was said, "We hope you will be more inclusive."
Ew.
I agree. I would like the anti-racism statement returned. In December of 2025, Turning Point USA hosted an event marketed to high school students with food and beverages advertised as an incentive for attendance. While community building opportunities for students are important, this event raises serious concerns related to student safety, parental rights, and governance oversight. Event materials indicated that adults, including parents and legal guardians, were not permitted to attend, and that supervision would be provided by unnamed volunteers. Excluding parents and guardians from a student-focused event creates a lack of transparency and undermines established best practices for youth safety. School-affiliated or school-adjacent activities should adhere to clear supervision standards, background check requirements, and defined accountability structures. I am also concerned about a potential conflict of interest involving Board of Education members serving as guest speakers at this event. Board members are entrusted with fiduciary and ethical responsibilities, and participation in events targeting students, particularly when parental access is restricted, warrants careful review to ensure compliance with district policies, ethics guidelines, and public trust obligations. Students are widely recognized as vulnerable population. They are in critical developmental stages and especially susceptible to influence. For this reason, safeguarding measures, parental involvement, and transparency are essential. All Board of Education members in this room are mandated reporters under state law, as I am. Based on the circumstances surrounding this event, a report was made to Child Protective Services. All of this was provided along with
Thank you for your comments.
Okay, then I hope everybody could hear that good enough. But that was the mandated reporter reporting at a hearing about TPUSA. And we are with.
So here's my question for people who
Jack.
don't think that Tyler Robinson murdered Charlie Kirk. And it's really simple. If you don't think that he murdered Charlie Kirk, then why haven't his parents come out and said anything? Because they turned him in. It wasn't the FBI. It wasn't Kash Patel. It wasn't Dan Bongino. It wasn't Utah law enforcement. It was his parents. So his parents turned him in. They're the ones who identified him. They're the ones who identified the gun. And if you're so sure that it wasn't Tyler Robinson, why do you think his parents haven't said anything? Notice nobody ever answers this question. And by the way, if you're also so sure, then why don't you go and ask his parents yourself? I haven't seen anyone even try to do this. Kind of weird, isn't it?
Is kind of weird, Jack. Really weird. Oh, look, it's Brandy and Billy. We did ask them ourselves. Tyler Robinson's family does not think he did this. And they said it is us. Face to face. They said this to us face to face at the January 16th hearing. The narrative that you read online about his family turning him in is not true, Jack. Not true. See, you didn't count on it, Jack, but you got caught in your own bullshit, just like that. Gotta love Brandy and Billy. Yeah, because they're the two sweet girls that the Robinson family felt comfortable enough to talk to. So, nice try, Jack. You're going to have to spin that narrative some other way. Oh, yep. Look at Ian there. Yep. Great journalism. Absolutely. Great job, girls. You owned his ass. Love it. I bet you he's not going to have a whole lot to say after that. Why don't you ask them? Well, gosh, Jack. It did get asked. Oh, and Gary. Yeah. Gary, but let's not forget about Gary. His coworkers identified him as did his chat group on Discord. What? Tyler Robinson supporters will never tell you his own coworkers also identified him in the surveillance footage. No, they haven't said that. You're lying, Jack. You're full of shit. He always clenches his fist like this. Really? And, that FBI super good picture. Props. You notice everything is blurry so that they could get away with saying that, this is the closest they can do to a Tyler Robinson. But sorry guys, not falling for that because it's not a match. Different build, different chin, different ears, different bone structure of the face, completely different hair. I implore you, go check out Tyler Robinson just at his court hearing. First of all, he's got straighter, light brown hair. This guy's got curly ass black hair. So, I mean, really, make it make sense. You can't, which is why you're out here saying all this dumb shit. And Brandy and Billy, I hope that you guys keep going and hopefully all of us doing everything we can and can make a difference and this poor guy doesn't go down for these people that are also destroying Charlie's legacy. And it irritates me to see them coming on here saying that we don't respect Charlie because we're not just accepting this narrative. That sounds so asinine. We have nothing but respect for Charlie. We care about the narrative with Charlie and what happened. It's not our fault you're assassinators, in my opinion, allegedly. I don't know if I can show this on YouTube or not. So I think you guys should go over and see it at Brandy and Billy's because I haven't watched it. I know, but...
What's up, guys? I'm Brandy.
And I'm Billy.
We have a big show for you all today. So I'm sure some of you are aware that we went to Tennessee a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to be explaining what we were doing there.
Yep. But first, I'm going to ask you guys, for the first time ever at the beginning of a video, please go like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. You know I'm serious because this is the first time we've ever asked at the beginning anyway.
It is.
And also, you may know we have a website. We've had one for 2 weeks now. We have merch that's available. And today we just released brand new merch. I'm obsessed with it, and I'm not going to show it to you because I want you to go there and see it yourself. Does that mean?
No, it's a surprise. Also, if you have any tips for us, please send them to tips@brandyandbilly.com. And so, okay, today we'll be going over a controversial theory that we haven't talked much about yet on our show. It's been heavily debated online, so we're going to be breaking down all the different aspects of this theory. And we're not saying that this happened, I just want to be clear, but we're going to break it down and let you guys decide for yourself. So with that being said, what if Charlie Kirk's assassination wasn't what it looked like? The theory we're going to be discussing has nothing to do with a gun. Instead, it has to do with something small, something hidden, something no one would expect, yet it was right in front of everyone's face. A small wireless microphone. And if this theory is true, it literally changes everything.
It really
And
does.
we're also going to be discussing the explosion that killed 16 people at a company called Accurate Energetic Systems outside of Nashville, Tennessee, about 60 miles southwest in a small town called McEwen, because this may be related to the exploding microphone theory.
So the question is, are these two stories connected?
Let's get into it.
I think so.
Welcome to the Brandy and Billy Show. Well, the first time we heard about this theory was on an episode from a podcaster named Trigger Smart, and I'm sure you're all aware of his channel. He was doing a live episode with Kelly Rayburn and a man named John Bray, and we'll link this episode in the description if you want to watch the entire thing, which we recommend that you do.
Yeah, and John Bray has a background in military body armor, and in that work, he created a program for the U.S. Army to refurbish their body armor vests. And if you remember, a lot of people had initially thought that Charlie was wearing body armor when he was shot.
Yeah, so at first the theory was that the bullet hit him in the chest, ricocheted off of his vest, and then struck him in the neck. And that's what John wanted to dig into. That's also...
And guys, a lot of work has been put into what they're disclosing here. You should totally check out John Bray. This guy is uber smart. And I believe if he has not figured it out completely, he's close.
Why so many people originally assumed he was wearing body armor, because when you watch the footage in slow motion, the way his shirt first moves really makes it look like he got shot in the chest first. But then the official story is that he was shot in the neck. So if that's true, why does his shirt, his microphone, and his necklace move before he's allegedly shot in the neck?
The math is not mathing.
Nope. And now with the close-up videos and photos that have come out, we know he wasn't wearing any type of body armor.
So John created a computer program using an MIT process that tracks pixel movement from frame to frame, and then he applied it to footage of Charlie. So basically it analyzes the video and it shows exactly what's moving, when it moves, how it moves. It's really cool. But the coolest part is it highlights the pixels that move the most, and it color codes them based on the distance that they travel. So you can clearly see like what shifts the farthest in the footage, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and play that clip.
So now some people are asking to have you explain this.
Yeah, so I took the MT Labs, the MIT Labs optical flow software, and I modified it to specifically look for epicenters frame to frame. So what it's doing is looking frame to video and looking on how the pixels move. It's because his shirt has those freedom texts across it, and his shirt's white, and then we have the black magnetic clasp on the shirt. It gives us a lot of vectors to track. So basically the software is looking at every frame and it's mapping the movement in between those frames, and then it's putting a red circle on the epicenter of those movements. And you can see the color mapping is showing you where the areas of the highest movement. So it kind of shows you the previous frame, where the movement moved from the previous frame to the next
like an
frame.
onion skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you see the heat frame from where the text was. It's showing you the text was in the previous frame. It was there, and then you can see where the text on his shirt is now, where the shirt pulls up across his face. Yeah, and the other angle maps it slightly different. Because the pixels are going to be different from different angles. But they're both in that general area.
Okay, so they're both kind of by the F of freedom.
Yeah, exactly. The shape charge theory basically is that it's not like a general basic explosive. It's not a radial force. It has a small charge and a cone, and it basically directs a high energy.
I'm not going to play their whole video on here because I want you to go over and watch their video and subscribe to them, because they're really out there. I don't even want to use the word killing it, but yeah, they're doing it. They're serious about it, and they're making good effort. And just perfect example. First court hearing that they went to, they actually spoke to Tyler's mom. And I mean, that matters. Girls are out here killing it. You guys do a great job.
Also known as AES. So what is AES? AES is a private manufacturing company based in McEwen area of Tennessee, and they specialize in the development, manufacturing, handling, and storage of advanced energetic materials and military-grade explosives. This company supports U.S. military missions, which means they hold government contracts producing what are considered mission-critical compounds and devices. So basically, they are a military contractor who sells military-grade explosives to the U.S. federal government and possibly other foreign agents.
I actually wanted to skip to this part because I haven't got to see it yet. And I'm from Tennessee, and I didn't get to see the part where they went to Tennessee yet.
Now let's talk about the tragic event that happened at AES. Well, on October 10th of last year, which is exactly 1 month after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, a massive explosion tore through part of the Accurate Energetic Systems manufacturing facility. And that explosion killed 16 people.
Yep.
And injured several others as well. And this wasn't small. The blast was so powerful that people reported feeling the vibrations from like many, many miles away. And what's even more shocking, there's literally nothing left of this specific plant building.
Literally.
It was completely destroyed. And we're going to show you a news clip from October 11th, the day after the explosion, so you guys can see it for yourself.
Authorities searching for the missing after a deadly explosion at this Tennessee manufacturing plant.
We do have several people at this time that's unaccounted for. We are trying to be
Bill,
mindful.
We would never boot you.
Of families.
5891 Highway 230 West had an explosion at Accurate Arms. Everybody is en route.
The massive blast occurring at 7:45 Friday morning at Accurate Energetic Systems, a facility with 80 employees that manufactured explosives.
It's probably been one of the most devastating situations that I've been on in my career.
The building completely leveled. Drone video revealing the crater where it once stood. Vehicles in the parking lot charred. The explosion felt all the way across town. This Ring camera 11 miles from the plant shows the shaking. Debris making its way nearly 4 miles away to the yard of Lauren Rourke.
The whole house shook. I looked out my bedroom window and I could just see all kinds of insulation debris just falling down. It's all over our yard, all around the house.
At least 18 people remain unaccounted for, and this morning authorities still combing through the building debris for survivors.
Our town is a really small town. Just about everyone is probably affected right now because everybody knows somebody that works over there or is, family. And so everybody is hurting.
That's okay.
Well, again, the investigation continues this morning. The search for the missing, as well as just trying to figure out exactly what caused this blast. That investigation is expected to last at least a few more days, just in terms of the investigation on the ground here. ATF agents, as well as Homeland Security agents on scene, assisting in that investigation. And residents, of course, are asked to stay away for now, Whit.
Yeah, so many questions and a devastating scene there. Mola Lange for us. Thank you.
The big question that everyone probably has is who's investigating this? Well, there are 3 bureaus that are investigating this currently, and those 3 bureaus are the ATF, which stands for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. It should be ATFE. Then along with them, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is investigating. Lastly, the U.S. Chemical Safety and Hazard Investigation Board. All 3 are investigating to this day, even though this happened on October 10th.
Mm-hmm. And they still have no idea what caused this. The investigators also said that somewhere between 24,000 and 28,000 pounds of explosive material detonated during the blast, which is an insane amount.
That's insane.
But here's the thing. Yeah, like I said, there's still no official root cause. And the authorities have already said it could take months before they're able to reach any type of conclusion.
So we wanted to dig a little deeper into this and hear from people who were actually involved, lost family members, or work at AES. And Brandy messaged 30 AES employees on LinkedIn and only
LinkedIn Pro.
Yeah, she got the LinkedIn Premium.
Yeah.
Just for this, she got LinkedIn Premium.
Yeah.
And how many did you hear back from?
2.
2 people responded, and they both said that they couldn't talk about it because it's an ongoing investigation.
Yeah. We also started asking people that we casually just met.
Okay, that seems sus. You can't talk about it because it's still an ongoing investigation. Brandy, Billy, I have a lot of names and contact information if you would like for me to send that to you with some more detailed information. Also, I don't know if you've seen where the whistleblower came out like a year prior, and then did you see the interview of the chick on the news that was there and made it a point to say that she was just there and had just left and she's only been working there a few months, and it's very weird, the strange things that's happened. So they changed management, but I have a lot of information on that. So if y'all want it, shoot me your email and I will be happy to shoot you guys over everything that I dug up. It's quite a bit.
In Tennessee, and we asked them if they were even aware if this explosion even happened. And surprisingly, a lot of people had no idea.
Even locals.
Yeah, which you would think it would be like in the local news.
Some
Considering everything makes the news in Tennessee, I live there. You cannot do nothing in that place. You get people, if someone got arrested for an unpaid ticket, their mugshot is going in the paper like they're a criminal. You can't do nothing there.
Papers, magazines, the television network, so many people had no idea this even occurred.
Even just gossip, right? Like
Yeah.
16 people passed away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I honestly, 16 people passing away from anything, I feel like the entire nation should have heard about it.
Yeah.
Right.
But
It was not even mainstream news at all.
It wasn't even local stream.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like 16 people, that's huge.
Yeah.
So that's pretty wild. So it just really seems like the media is trying to keep this a little hush hush. And with that being said, though, some people that we did speak to locally in Tennessee that knew about it thought that there was some suspicious activity going on, or the whole situation was a little weird.
Yeah, and we actually drove to Accurate Energetic Systems while we were in Tennessee to try to see the plant explosion for ourselves and see if we could speak to anyone at the facility about the incident. I'm going to show you guys kind of what the layout is for the plant here. We didn't know what to expect when we first drove up. So there's Nashville, and then, yeah, northwest a little bit of Nashville actually is Accurate Energetic Systems. It's about 60 miles. And right there is the closest we could get to that pin, which brings up Accurate Energetic Systems.
Yeah.
So when we got to that pin right there, this is what we saw. It was just a blocked off entrance saying truck drivers only. There was a gate there.
It said do not enter.
Do not enter, yeah. So we follow Route 230 to try to find some other entrance that does not say do not enter, and we stop here, right at this intersection. And I'll bring this intersection back up again in a moment because we did get out of our car, but I just want to zoom out here and show you guys how big of a facility this is and how big of an operation it probably is. There's multiple buildings.
Absolutely.
If you zoom out here, and then even if you zoom in again, which I didn't, there's more buildings to the right, smaller ones. And then if you follow that road down to the other area where the entrance was blocked off, just basically backtracking, look at how many buildings are there. Like That has to be
Yes, it's a huge company.
huge company, so many buildings. I'm not exactly sure where the explosion happened, but I believe it was probably at that original entrance where we were blocked off.
And I wonder if they have them so spaced out for just in case things happen like that.
Just in case of
'Cause can you imagine if one blew up, then another blew up and it just split? Like, can you imagine?
Yeah.
I wonder for like, I don't even know this. I'm just thinking this off the top of my head. I wonder if they're so spaced out like that per like code because of things that could happen. I don't know.
Or maybe summer offices where like only the
OSHA is actually investigating as well. I did see that on some of the research that I was doing. So they got OSHA, TBI, the ATF. But I mean, it was October and they're not coming back with any kind of information. So Brandy and Billy, did you come to any conclusion on Butch Hibbs being involved in this at all? Because I have a sneaky suspicion that he did. And if we find out that this is connected to Charlie Kirk too, and it high probability that it is, because if you go over and check out John Bray, he's very knowledgeable when it comes to ballistics. He can show you exactly how a shape charge can go into the back of that magnetic mic that he was wearing and absolutely do the damage that was done. So who went and did and it's so easy for these people to get away with it because Erica's entire family works for Department of Defense. They have so much shit going on, but somebody I know was directly connected to this plant. And if 16 more people have lost their lives, this is bullshit. It's got to stop. And we're not going to stop until we figure it out. So I hope they realize that.
FBI can go in. I don't know, but this is, I mean, they make military grade devices. So
yeah,
conspiracy theories on what each building is, accurate energetic systems.
Right.
But yeah, going back to that point, the second point where we stopped and we got out of our car, we found a quote unquote entrance.
I don't think so
parked and we walked up to that main entrance building. We knocked on the door because it was locked, and I'm sure you have to have like a key card to get in.
Yeah.
And eventually a woman walked over to the front. It took a while, right?
Yeah, we were like chilling there for a second. We almost were like, okay, should we leave? And then I saw someone walk away. I was like, wait,
there's someone in there.
Yeah.
We should have recorded it. Unfortunately, we didn't. But
I thought that we did the conversation.
I thought I'd
like I've had to have a conversation with myself multiple times. Like, is this plausible? I mean, I think it's definitely plausible, but I just don't think it's likely. Like, I mean, what exactly would he be so in need of faking his death and giving up his life? I mean, his entire world that he built from the ground up. I find that hard to believe. I don't think that he did. I think he was being naughty and he was not compliant with what they wanted him to do and started saying it. He was being bullied. And then, I mean, I can't even say exactly how it happened. I know it wasn't with 30-06. But it's disturbing. It's disturbing to think that not only that, but this plant possibly being connected to it, and then to think about the FBI being involved and the sheer amount of people that are covering this up. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around. And then I don't know if I told you guys, but Frank Turek, he actually came to our church in Tennessee. Like we we were involved with Life Church in Cookville. And this was back in like 2021, 2020. And the book that he talks about all the time, I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. Well, that's Frank's book that he signed. We were in church the day that he came and was a special guest. Like, that pissed me off after I put two and two together. Like, I feel so infiltrated. Like, even our church, you infiltrated our church. How could you? Yeah, Jesse is great and funny. I don't know if you catch Valhalla VFT, but he's another great one too. Do sir. Not Gare Bear. Oh, wonder if somebody wants to go on here and pick apart this guy's typos like they do everybody else. Absurd. And Gary looks like such a fool. I just don't think he realizes just how. And this guy Cinema Shogun, he thinks he's cute, but he goes on there and attacks Candace nonstop. And he has really went out of his way this time and looked up family members of Candace and put it right out here for everybody to see. I mean, he's a real piece of shit. And I don't think he quite realizes that, you know, he can be found too. And I don't mean that as a threat. Like, he could be found. Like, I can put your information out there too, just like you do. There's no need for none of that. Yeah, good stuff. I honestly don't blame you. Yeah, sadly. Yeah. I don't know what you mean by don't get into the blame game BS. Maybe say more than 5 words? What blame game? Nothing. Respectfully, I will hear what you have to say. I am sticking to facts. I'm sticking to what I know. So Fielder Jeff, anything that you want to call me out on, please do. Let me know. I actually used to watch Gary. I liked him until the whole was being fed bullshit from Andrew Kovett and streaming it live, and then he just jumped on it. I don't know where it went wrong with him. I don't know what this guy's problem is. Fielder Jeff, so I'm waiting. So please do tell me what facts I am not giving, and I will be happy to give you the facts. Nothing to say. So you're just gonna put that out there and then nothing to say because you don't even know what you're talking about. For sure. For sure. Yeah, please do tell. Do tell if you know something that we don't. Because I don't, Fielder Jeff, I don't just hop on here and run my mouth on a bunch of baseless bullshit. I actually fact check everything that I say and do. At no point did I accuse anybody or say anybody explicitly has done it. It is definitely up in the air. But I do know Tyler Robinson didn't. So if that bothers you, then so be it. What the hell does that even mean? I know I look pretty. What? Okay. Okay, I don't know if you're talking to me or if you're talking to the Ray Linville. I mean, should we play do 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 do? I mean, how much time do you need for a response? All right, what are we talking about here? Fielder Jeff, what you? I don't know who Ray Linville. Oh yeah, she's my daughter. She's my daughter. She's my moderator. And she's actually very bright and quite beautiful. I mean, Fielder Jeff, we are trying to be as patient as possible here. Oh, well, then I would feel like shit for being mean. I'm not trying to be. Like, if he agrees, and I don't expect anybody to agree with everything that I say. And that's why I'm trying to be patient and wait if he has something that he has to say. No problem. I'm not a hateful person. You don't have to move on. If there's something that you have to say and you want to address it, we can address it. It's not a problem. Ain't an airport? Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. What did we determine the male Karen is? Kevin. Don't be a Kevin. Don't be a Kevin. Don't know what you're upset about. We sat here and gave you all the time that you needed, and you're just backpedaling instead of saying what you were talking about. You're arguing about it. But I stand by it. I stand by everything I say. He said, wait, who's Kevin? Kevin is the male Karen. He said, wait, who's Kevin? Don't see Kevin. Kevin is the male version of a Karen. The only reason I even know that is because we Googled it the other day. I don't know. It came up on something we were watching or something about Karens. And then I think my daughter asked, what's the male version of that? And we Googled it and it said Kevin. Great. Where have you been, Bill? By the way, it's ironic because we did just mention like 3 days ago that we hadn't seen you. Well, Bill, if you didn't get to see Graham's meltdown.
You said that we only Megyn Kelly, where the crap are
He's
you?
even on
Megyn Kelly, hello? Megyn? How can you stand by and do this? How can you stand by and say nothing? You said that we only really are criticizing Candace Owens because of her thoughts about Israel, and you're not going to comment about that. Okay, she's fixing to launch an investigative documentary into Erica Kirk. She is endangering Erica Kirk and her children's lives more. What? Is this thing on? Also, to all the, quote, friends of Charlie Kirk that still remain silent, for anyone not bound by the investigation, because there are some, they're part of the murder trial, or they're named in it, and they can't say anything. But there's a lot of you who aren't. In fact, the vast majority of you aren't. And you were never a friend to Charlie. In fact, you rode his coattails to become popular so you could make money, and now you're so afraid of losing your money.
And if you haven't seen Dan Bongino, he is out of his ever-loving mind.
She didn't choose this. Imagine sitting there in your house and you find out from Twitter or, I don't know, a text or a phone call or that your husband was just...
I imagine sitting there and him as the FBI under the director actually doing some work and maybe, you know, investigating the Epstein files instead of redacting them. Then, of course, this one, we're going to get Erica Kirk and her kids murdered because of following Candace and implying that we're Looney Tunes to do such a thing. Oh, nice. That's Rose the best. Our amazing FBI director.
Howie, say hi. Howie, say hi to him. How you doing, Don?
Oh, my bad. And the president's on the phone.
Unbelievable, and you were all unbelievable. And
no, sir, what is unbelievable is that the FBI director is over there partying on a private jet. And then you're making a call to congratulate them while that director is over there. It is unreal. You can't make this shit up. Yeah, Bongino. Yep. He's lost his mind. He goes from emotional to angry to weird. He is something else. Special. Definitely a special dude. Are getting so foul on here that, I mean, it's just getting so foul. Yeah. He said literally all the cheese. Literally all the cheese. Laura Loomer. How come you won't say Candace Owens' names? How come you won't say Tucker Carlson's? How come you won't say Megyn Kelly's name? I just... Conservative media's biggest mistake was failing to discuss Tyler Robinson in the wake of Charlie's murder. Even to this day, you will see people bring up Charlie's legacy and family to support one cause or another, but the same people never talk about Tyler. I think everybody's talking about Tyler dipshit. Again, gotta fit their official narrative. You can't sell to me that the 22-year-old third-year apprentice for an electrician, never been in trouble, never been to jail. When all the shit that is so much around, I mean, was getting... He felt like he was going to die. He knew he was going to die. That didn't come from Tyler Robinson. That came from his inner circle. That came from Bibi Netanyahu, in my opinion, allegedly. Well, cheese is all good. You're not allowed to have a favorite brand? That's bullshit. Any hints? Any hints at all? Yeah, Loomer definitely has got to go. Yes. And so many others. Kash Patel has got to go. Look at that. I love Tyler Robinson. That is just... Huh? Well, yeah, I'd say so. She's not wearing a I love Tyler Robinson shirt. No way in hell. Ridiculous. They're so dumb. I don't understand the whole shoving the Jewish shit down our throat. Like, I don't have a problem with Jewish people. I have a problem with Israel trying to run our country. That is it. We're the United States of America. Why don't you worry about your own place and we'll worry about ours? But I don't have a problem with Jewish people. Definitely got a problem with them trying to take over our country. And it seems they are. They're doing a fantastic job of it. Him and Trump are buddies. So, that is all I have for y'all tonight. And I will be back again tomorrow. So, Bill, I can't give you a time because I am so irresponsible with the time. I'm trying to hone in on the time, but I am very irresponsible with the time. But if you turn on notifications, hopefully you'll get a notification and you'll be here. I enjoyed you being here and talking to you. Everybody has a good night. And I will see you tomorrow.